If you're thinking of moving to Ontario Ranch, I'm going to share with you some of the top neighborhoods that there are. I'm going to share with you some of the top neighborhoods that exist, some of the new communities, the amenities, the pluses and minuses of living and moving down here to this community. My name is Oscar Pinto. I'm a real estate agent here in Ontario, California. If you're thinking of relocating and buying a home in the Inland Empire and you want to know what's the best neighborhood, go ahead and give me a call, send me an email, send me a text message. I love getting your phone calls. I get a lot of phone calls. I really love it. So go ahead and reach out. I'm here to help you. I got your back. Hey, so this is a typical home in this community. You can see brand new, looks pretty good. They stage these things really well. Let's take a quick tour and see what's going on. We got the kitchen, again, brand new. Anytime you come into these new communities, you're gonna see these upgrades. They stage them really well. Mostly everything in a model tour is one of the upgrade features. What does that mean? That means you gotta pay for it. So what the base model looks like, it's not gonna look like this. But what is it really? Maybe it's some texture on the paint. Maybe it's a different color of the paint. Maybe it's not the special gray. Maybe it's a different gray, you know? So they make these really nice. They stage them awesomely. I really enjoy it. When you come out here and you want to see some new home tours, I really enjoy showing them because these things are great to show. They're simple, they're easy, they're always available to just come on in and we just check them out, and they show really well. That's probably the best part about it. And they all look pretty good. I mean, how can you go wrong? Big old bathrooms. Really nice stuff. So this is considered a townhome because they're attached. Depending on what part of the country you're from, depending on what part of the country you're from, these might be considered a single family home. So this is a typical new construction. When you come check it out, they really make them look really nice. So what's the biggest problem, or what's the biggest issue that you're gonna have with these new constructions is that they typically don't have that much land. So this one is on a corner lot, this is an end unit, and we're gonna see the backyard, and you let me know. So this is it. This is the backyard or the patio. That's how big it is. Now for most people, it might be enough. For some, they say, well, I need a little bit more. Well, then this might not be the community for you. New constructions in these areas aren't, you know, they're not very land heavy. Some have more than others. But that seems to be like the biggest, complaint that we hear is that there's no land, there's no backyard. Because a lot of people here are used to living in maybe like a 1950s, 1970s home where they're on 7,000, 8,000 square foot lot. But if you want a brand new 2022 home or anything past 2000, yeah, there's gonna be a lot less land. Land has been going up in value, so builders just have to build more homes on the land that's provided. But I'll tell you what this place does have, and it's amenities. So what you give up in land is like, oh, I don't have a backyard. Well, you have like 5 backyards in this particular community, and we're gonna go check out the common areas where there's basketball courts, they have pools. So I think that's a pretty good move. If you want to spend time with your family and kids and dogs and stuff, and say, well, we're gonna have a little get together, but I have no backyard. Well, you could use their amenities, and you can use their common areas, their pool areas, their basketball courts, their picnic tables, their playgrounds. And you are paying a homeowners association to maintain those, but you're not personally maintaining those yourself. So when you live in one of these communities here in Ontario Ranch, you're gonna have, a smaller backyard for your own private little area, but you also have the benefit of using the community's resources. Now, I tell everyone, if you're gonna pay for it, which whoever lives here does, if you're gonna pay for it, definitely use it. Use that pool, use that gym, use those playgrounds, use as much as you can. And if you're not going to use it, then again, you're spending your money on stuff that you're just not going to use. And some people might consider that a waste. I know I would. I know if I'm spending money on something and I'm not using it, guess what? That's a waste. So that's something to consider when you're thinking of coming down to Ontario Ranch. Big old master communities, big old master plans. They have their pools, they have their playgrounds. You do have to pay your owners association, which means there's some rules with that. I hear online people complain about homeowner association. Oh, I want to paint my house purple and yellow with polka dots, and I can't. Well, that's what you signed up for when you bought one of these homes. Everyone has to kind of stick with that uniform color. Not so much uniform. There is some leeway, but still, you have to follow their rules. And believe it or not, everyone lives in a homeowner association. If you're paying taxes, then the building department of your town tells you what you can and can't do either. So you just can't do anything anytime. There's zoning laws in every town. So, you really can't get, it is what it is. So now we drove through a couple of neighborhoods, and there's one type that you see that has like detached homes. These are fully attached. So these are fully attached. You can see, as we're driving through, all the homes are next to each other. You can't hear what your neighbors are doing. They're not paper thin walls, but you're right next door. So if you're used to living in an apartment, now I grew up in an apartment in the Bronx, so, not a big deal for me. But if you're not used to that, that's something you will have to get used to. So just keep that in mind whenever you're considering buying something out here. That's what you're gonna run into. All right, so these are the amenities here. You have this, you have this big old group gathering spot. So you probably could reserve this for a little private party or something. And it comes equipped with 3 TVs. So if you want to do a little Super Bowl party or something, man, that's gonna work out really well for you. On top of that, you have this little relaxing area behind me. You have a couple of barbecues. I wonder who pays for the gas on that. You have the fireplace. Really nice spot to hang out. So it's midweek, mid-morning. No one's out here. I'm sure this place is packed on the weekends. Everyone's hanging out. Who wouldn't? Like I said, especially if you're paying for it, come out here and use it. Let's check out what other areas they have. See, in Southern California, this here is a must. Definitely need a pool because it gets hot. Over 100 degrees here in the Inland Empire. If you're not used to that heat, yeah, this pool, absolutely. It's like a little mini resort. I like it. If I lived out here, I'd definitely be using that pool. Probably right now too. Nah, it's a little too cold though. So who lives here? Well, I'll tell you, if you have little ones, they're definitely going to enjoy living here. Look at this back. You have this private area, private playground that you could play with. Not open to the public. So it's well maintained. Just saw some of the workers out here just keeping it up. To afford to live out here, you're probably a 2-income household. Or you're making a lot more than that. If you're just a 1-income, then you're a very well-paid professional, because these are not considered, entry level. Although in our area they're considered entry-level homes, but those payments are higher than normal. So out here in Ontario Ranch, you're gonna have a bunch of facilities like this. Mostly every community has something along these lines. Pool on one side, barbecue area on the other. Again, that is to compensate, I believe, is to compensate for the smaller backyards. Let's see here. Gas lines all hooked up. Nice. What if you come out here and you just cook for yourself all day, every day? Tennis courts, basketball courts. All right, seems pretty good. The funny part of this community is that there's a sign that says residents only, no guests. So keep that in mind. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to know what it is to live out here in Ontario, California. If you're moving out to the Inland Empire and you want information on what's going on, go ahead. I post up new videos about different neighborhoods, best neighborhoods, worst neighborhoods, pros, cons, good, the bad, the ugly. Please subscribe to the channel.